People were talking about the John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber all week long, and we still haven't seen him since, and likely won't until next Monday's Raw in Brussels. A lot of the discourse this week, though, centered around who knew what and when, and what the original plan was. And per Dave Meltzer, he reported that The Rock originally wanted Cody Rhodes to turn heel and to be his champion. Well, I mean, of course he did. He said so on TV. I don't need Dave Meltzer to tell me that. Doesn't Dave watch the show? He said, I want your soul. I want you to be my champion. I mean, he couldn't have said it any clearer. But anyway, this is what Dave said in this week's Observer. Dwayne Johnson, when he wasn't going to wrestle and decided to be part of the Mania build, wanted to be aligned with Rhodes going heel. There are those in the company who believe the only thing that could have hurt the company would have been a Rhodes heel turn at this time. The feeling is that this current crowd is Cody's crowd. There is the argument that you don't mess with a successful formula. I can say that I thought the idea of the Rhodes turn with Rock was the wrong thing, only that I didn't think it would kill off the boom because right now it's about the idea of WWE being cool and not so much the headliners. It's more of a team thing than in previous booms. Rhodes turned down the idea, and they went to Cena as the second choice. I had figured Punk was going to get the slot, but we're told that it never came down to him as Cena agreed to do it. Sean Ross Sapp has since backed up Dave's version of events and said that that is true, that the plan was always John Cena against Cody, but with Cody as the heel and Cena as the babyface. I'm skeptical. And the reason I'm skeptical is because of an interview that Cody himself gave to a publication in Las Vegas at the end of October. So this would have been after The Rock showed up at Bad Blood. And this is what Cody said in October. Okay, a whole 4 months ago at the end of October. What I can say for those who keep an eye on the rumors, I bet what they get at WrestleMania 41 is unexpected even to them. Even the people who follow this, the diehards who feel like they have their finger on the pulse, this one is going to be tough. This one is going to be unexpected. That's the best way that I can put it, but in the best of ways. They knew, at least as far back as October, what the plan was going to be. And if the plan was for Cody to go heel, and Cody said, no, I don't want to go heel, then his quote here makes no sense. I don't think when he made that remark that he was supposed to go heel, but then changed his mind. He had second thoughts. He got cold feet. He knew then what was going down. So if it's true that The Rock wanted Cody as the heel and they had to pivot to Cena as the backup plan, then that all would have been worked out months ago. This was not a recent decision that was made in the last few weeks. I don't believe that for a second. And I agree wholeheartedly that it would have been stupid for Cody to be the one going heel right now. Cody is over enough, okay, that in the last 2 years, they ultimately turned The Rock and John Cena, two of their biggest babyfaces of all time, heel for him. This is not some desperate attempt, we got to boost Cody because he's flailing, and it's not working as the top babyface, right? It's validation that he has succeeded in the role, and that the crowds haven't soured on him or they haven't turned against him almost a year now into his title run. If there are people booing Cody when he's out there, they must be all the way up in the cheap seats. If there are any cheap seats these days at WWE show, the cheapest fucking seat is $400 probably. But they're all the way up in the cheap seats because I certainly don't hear them when I watch these shows. You must be watching a different show than I am. Cody is the guy. He's their guy right now. And there will come a time where the fans are ready for him to go heel. Now is not that time. Now, Meltzer also claims that the original plan was to do the Cena turn at the end of WrestleMania, but the day of Elimination Chamber, the decision was made to do it on that show instead. He says what happened here was known by only a few people. During the day when they were putting the show together, the segment was listed as coming after the Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, Candice LeRae match. There were sites that had that order of events, and that was correct in the sense that it was what everybody backstage was told. Later, just before the show, there was a change, with the segment changed to last. Many people, including producers in the back, were not even aware of that and were surprised when they went to Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. The story we were told, which is what was being said after the show among people in the inner circle, is that the segment as laid out would have had Rhodes turn The Rock down, but Cena would not be involved and he would win the chamber. The plan was that the Cena turn with Rock would have been saved for WrestleMania's finish. Once the decision was made during the day to do it on this show, it had to go on last. Keep in mind that the top few people in WWE could be swerving their own people, and it was always going to go on last, and the turn was always on this show. But after the show, many of the key people were told that it was a late change. So I love how he had to stick that in there at the very end. Well, it could be true that they had this plan for a while. Yeah, I mean, of course they did. You got to be fucking kidding me. So you mean to tell me that the day of Elimination Chamber, they suddenly had a change of heart? This wasn't just another wrestling angle. This was one of the biggest angles in wrestling history, given how big of a star Cena is. You don't think something like that is not decided well in advance? You don't think that only a select few people, Triple H, Nick Khan, The Rock, Brian Gewirtz, Cena, Cody, that they knew what the real plan was and they fed everybody else a phony lineup to throw people off? I can believe they did that. They're worried about leaks. There are people there who leak things all the time, every week. I'm going to talk about the Jade Cargill, Shayna Baszler thing in a little bit, okay? There are people there who leak things all the time. We get a spoiler lineup for these shows from Fightful and PW Insider right before the shows every single week. It's not hard to believe they put out a phony lineup with The Rock and Cody slotted for the middle of the show. They did not get to the building in Toronto and go, you know what? People seem really bored by the WrestleMania build so far, so let's change all of our plans. Let's call an audible here, and we'll do it tonight instead. Dave is just digging the hole deeper. Let's be honest, okay? The Cena turn, it needed to happen in Toronto because the WrestleMania build was very weak. And if they would have held off on that turn, that also would have meant 6 weeks of babyface John Cena against babyface Cody Rhodes. And that would have been fucking boring. So it was the right decision to make. Okay, and that decision was not first made that day. That one decision has had people talking more about WrestleMania in the last 7 days than they were in the last 6 weeks combined. Now, if the plan was to save the turn for the main event finish of WrestleMania, it would also mean that Cena was winning number 17. I still think he is. I mean, when we get to mid-April and I do my final predictions, maybe based on the build-up, I'll feel differently. But as I sit here today on March 9th, I still believe he is winning number 17 at WrestleMania. I was of the mind, up until, a week ago? I was of the mind that John Cena should not win at WrestleMania. But that was before the heel turn. That changes everything now. Now you could get 5 or 6 months out of a heel Cena run, on top as champion, defending against AJ Styles and Randy Orton and CM Punk, right before dropping it back to Cody at SummerSlam. And then you have a few months for the Cena redemption arc so that he can go out as the hero. If they want him to win number 17 as a babyface, so that it could be celebrated, because it is kind of a weird thing for him to do, set such a big record if he's this vicious heel. If that's what they want to do, then that probably means he's only going to be a heel through WrestleMania. And that would be a letdown. People have waited 15 years for a John Cena heel turn. John Cena himself has waited 15 years for a John Cena heel turn. He did that interview with Chris Van Vliet. It had to be maybe a year and a half ago. He was promoting one of his movies, and they started talking wrestling, and he brought up the heel turn and how close did you get, and Cena told the story all over again. It was very close. We were going to do it in 2012. Literally, I got the word after the Rock match at WrestleMania that we were going to do this. And in 48 hours, he said, he had a new track laid down. He had 7 new singlets, and he had his old boots that he dusted off. Like, he was ready to go. And you watch him tell this story, and you can just see and hear the energy and the excitement in his voice. Like, he was ready to go. So you don't think that this guy's been waiting for his chance to have some fun with this? Probably didn't think it was going to happen here in his final year, right? When they went to him and pitched it, but he was like, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he told them yes, that he would do it. If Cody said no and Cena said yes, that doesn't surprise me, because Cena's probably wanted to do this as long as the fans have wanted him to do this. And so if we only get it for 6 weeks between now and WrestleMania, that's going to be a huge letdown if they blow it off that quickly. That's going to be very lame. Now, Cody appeared on SmackDown Friday night. He was sporting a black eye and what looked like an earplug in his left ear until after the pyro went off. Then he took it out, which lends credence to Meltzer's report that Travis Scott busted his eardrum with that shot that he tagged him with at the Elimination Chamber. He's lucky he didn't break his orbital socket with that shot. Cody would have been wrestling John Cena at WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley's mask on. Travis Scott, by the way, he is training to wrestle. He's been working out at a WWE Legends school. We don't know which legend. I mean, that could be any number of them. They all have schools, right? Gangrel's got a school. Rikishi's got a school. Everybody's got a school. Seth Rollins has a school. But he's going to get in the ring at some point. Everybody is saying there's a receipt waiting for Travis Scott for what he did to Cody. I think Cody is too much of a pro to do anything like that. If they can get Travis Scott to wrestle a match for them, they're not going to want anybody taking liberties with this guy, okay? That'd be like, Bad Bunny, man, at WrestleMania a few years ago. He got a shot in on Damian Priest. There's a receipt waiting for Bad Bunny, right? The most downloaded recording artist in the world is going to wrestle a match for you, okay? And probably make you so much more money than you would otherwise make. You think they're going to let their guys go out there and take liberties with him? Give me a fucking break. If it was anybody else, I'd say sure, but in this case, I wouldn't be holding my breath. I thought Cody's promo on Friday was excellent. I thought he struck just the right tone, kind of like this silent rage thing that he had going. He was talking about how he lied to his 4-year-old about what happened to his face and how Cena doesn't owe him an explanation. He owes the fans an explanation for why he did what he did. And Cena told him, he said, in the ring at WrestleMania last year when he was celebrating his title win, that title gets heavier every day. Well, it weighs nothing to him, he says. Since it seems like Cena wants to get some, he can come and get some from Cody, right? That first live Cena promo is going to be huge. And then after that, we still have to get that first face-to-face in the ring with the two of them. And I'm very anxious to see how Cody hangs with him. Because John Cena on the microphone, especially a fully heel Cena, is deadly. Like, he's going to be a monster. He mauled Roman Reigns on the mic years ago before their first match, and he was still a babyface at that point. But he made him look like a bitch. He's like a cat killing a mouse and then playing with it, right? Cody's a good promo, but when Cena cuts the goofy bullshit and he gets serious, he's one of the best to ever do it. So if he brings the fire with Cody, can Cody hold his own in the ring in a promo battle with John Cena? But I remember, I met Cody last year, and we got to hang out with him for a while, and he was telling stories, and we were talking about Dusty and stuff. But John Cena had just come to the Nightmare Factory not long before that. I guess he was in town, and he stopped by, and we was talking to some of the students, and he said, Cena made a comment to him. Because, he lost at WrestleMania 39. And I'm sure Cody was upset about that. Not just in storyline, but he had to be demoralized about that, And I remember the comment he told us that Cena made to him. And Cena told him, he goes, you just got to be the champion without the title. That's all you got to do. So however long it takes, you just keep doing what you're doing. Carry yourself as if you're the champion. You don't have the belt, but just be the champion without the title. And that's what Cody has done. And that's what he's done, obviously, with the title as well. He's carried himself very well as the face of the company. That's the role that Cena filled at one point. So you have these two guys now that are headed into this match at WrestleMania. One was the face of the company, the face of the franchise for so many years. And now Cody is in the role that John Cena used to be. And that's why I said, if you have a WrestleMania match with these two, and they go into it both as baby faces, it's boring, right? There's nothing compelling about that outside of can he win number 17? And then it just becomes about nothing but that. Now it's just, can John Cena win number 17? And now you run the risk that he's going to be the sentimental favorite because this is his last shot. This is his final WrestleMania match. And he may not get another chance to win number 17. Now you have people cheering Cena over Cody, right? You don't want that. Like, everything about it would have been completely fucked. That's why I said the heel turn had to happen. Somebody had to go heel, and Cody was not going to be that guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin was interviewed by the Schmo YouTube channel regarding the John Cena heel turn. I was today years old, by the way, when I learned there is a YouTube channel called the Schmo. But he's got 371,000 subscribers, so he must be doing something right. Austin said, "It had to happen sooner or later. Finally, it happened. So it'll be interesting to see whether the people accept him as a heel or has he turned himself more babyface. I think it remains to be seen as the story unfolds, but nonetheless, they've kicked off an epic build into WrestleMania, and that's what they do every single year, and this year it's here in Las Vegas." And when asked if he would be on the show, he said, "Hey, I haven't been in contact with anybody, so I guess anything could happen, but I'm here at the Mint 400, and that's what my sights are set on. I'm not looking to Mania. I'm looking to the Mint 400. I got a brand new left knee. This is my first race back, so I'm going to go out there and kick ass and see if I could do as well as I can." Austin is a professional off-road racer now. He's really big into it, so that's why he was there. He said last year that, WrestleMania being in Las Vegas, it's like a 400-mile drive from his house, so he was definitely planning on being there in some capacity. And he said, "Hey, if Cody needed my help, I'd be there," right? And he was joking around, but I'm hoping we hear that glass shatter and Rock eats one more stunner this year, right? It should have happened last year. When Mania rolls around, he's going to be about 20 weeks out from his knee replacement, so about 4.5 months. And it takes up to a year, he says, to fully recover from a knee replacement. And it's one thing if you're just going to be walking around going about your daily business. I mean, there are people who are back up on their feet in 6 weeks. It's a little bit different if you're going to get physical, if you're going to play sports, if you're going to, wrestle in some way. Not that he's going to do a match, but it's a little bit different. You're 60 years old. You just had a knee replacement. Even if you're going to get in the ring and do one move, right? Can he do it? I don't know. I don't know how comfortable he would be marching down that long aisle and doing anything physical. But if he can do it, I'll just say that. If he physically thinks he could deliver one stunner, I hope we get to see it. I don't even know if Rock can take the exaggerated stunner bump anymore. He's so damn big.